You're listening to the AFTERBUZZ TV network, now the largest new media platform on the web, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Johnson.
From the AFTERBUZZ Studios in Los Angeles, California, presented by Maria Menounos and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies, this is AFTERBUZZ TV's Ray Donovan After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AFTERBUZZ TV's Ray Donovan After Show.
Hey, what's up, everybody? This is the AFTERBUZZ TV After Show for Showtime's Ray Donovan. Today, we're going to be recapping Season 2, Episode 4, titled Suck, S-U-C-K. I'm your host, Kennelia Stradwick, and I'm joined by two fabulous co-host guys. Introduce yourselves.
Hi, I'm Koppel.
Hi, I'm Issac Johnson.
What'd you guys think of this episode?
I thought it was great. I kind of want to know what song this is. Steven, what song is that?
Yeah, we usually do it
Dead Man's Bones, Lose Your Soul.
There you go.
Yeah.
Oh, is this like the theme for the show? I've never heard it.
It was when they were first promoting the Ray Donovan. it's what they used for all the previews before it ever started.
Good to know. I was just like, oh, this is a fun song.
No, it's cool.
Yeah.
I like it. You guys like it? I thought it was a good episode. I like the pace of this season. Because remember last season, it started off a little slow, and it took a while to try to get in the groove. But I feel like every episode they're giving it to us. I like this episode, too, in particular. It was really... a lot of good points.
The first couple episodes of last season, there's like a lot of unfolding of things. Yeah, and now we know people, and we're getting to meet new people.
Right. So we start the episode off with Tiny. We see Tiny at the grocery store. He's just staring at the food. You know, he's a bigger guy, so you know we're like, okay, maybe he's a little hungry.
Maybe.
Who steals bologna?
Bologna.
Who steals a chicken?
He's doing a little bit of shoplifting.
Like I can see the chicken, but be selective with your sandwich meats, Tiny. Bologna, he could have gotten something different. Like that was a little. It probably had the red ring around the border too. Like
Maybe.
I like. You can see the chicken. You're like, yeah, I can see the chicken. That's fine. Stealing a rotisserie chicken, that's okay.
Yeah, what's the guy say? Like, you don't have anything else? He's like, nope. And then, like, something else falls out of his shirt.
He didn't steal no bread. Like, he was just going to eat the bologna.
But maybe he's a little bit on hard times. His revenue source has been cut off. You know, he can't really afford the chicken.
That's what it seems. So he runs out of the store. He couldn't get far because he was a little light on his cardio. And he gets arrested. We found out that he was just singing like a songbird to the police. Cochran finds out, immediately calls Ray.
Yeah, and who mouths off like that? I mean, and like Ray said, like, what's the first thing you learn on, what is it, Dorchester Street? Yeah, when you're 5 years old, you don't talk to the cops.
Yeah.
And not to mention that he gets out of the situation where he could have been shot. They easily could have killed him. He's with Sully, he's one of Sully's guys. You would think he would be grateful to get out of there, but I don't know if he's too dumb or because he didn't seem to get it this time either. He's like, no, I'm not going, Ray. And Ray's like, you don't get it. You don't have a choice in this situation. You just don't understand. So, and he didn't take that.
Yeah, he said he was simple. So when he said that, I was like, well, yeah, some people are just simple with everything. He, like you said, he just didn't get it. He said, no, I don't want to go. It was kind of sad that he really thought that he was just not going to go and just get to hang out in L.A. Like, okay, cool, you don't want to go? Okay, cool, you just live in this hotel room. I'll get you chicken. No, you're going to die. To me, that was just sad. Like, he had no clue.
Yeah, I do wonder what Ray's option was going to be other than, like, to feed him chicken and get him ice cream, I guess. But, like, what if Frank didn't intervene, what was Ray's plan for him? Well,
that's a good question because when Frank called Ray, he said, you need to handle it. Ray was like, you want me to kill the guy? Frank hit Ray with you don't have any morals, Ray. So that kind of, put Ray into a different space. You saw he was kind of taken aback by it, like, dang, do you really think I don't have any morals? Then, so Ray had Hobby sitting on him. I don't think that Ray was going to kill him until Frank kind of put the pressure on him and said, I'll take care of it myself. When he, we saw Frank meet, not Frank, we saw, Frank Cochran meet Ray in the parking garage. And when he said that to Ray and saying, you know what?
Oh, you say, you tell lies or something.
Yeah, you tell lies. What can you control? You don't have a handle on anything. I don't think until that moment Ray was going to do anything.
I still don't think he was going to do anything. Like, Cochran was putting the pressure on him, but he knew that Frank was following him the whole time. And he kept saying, I'll handle it, I'll handle it. But his way of handling it was going to get Tiny out of the country. Tiny was refusing to go. And he just kept saying, Ray kept saying, you don't get it, you don't get it. And so by leaving him in the motel room, and he, sort of like made eye contact with Frank, I think he knew he was just leaving Frank to do the work.
Yeah.
So I don't think he had a plan B for himself.
I don't know that he did. I guess, like, it seemed maybe when Frank asks him, or not Frank, like Cochran says, like, you don't have any morals. Like, I think he does have some sort of moral, especially for guys from Dorchester. They're from the same place. So maybe that's why he won't kill him. But when he does see Frank outside the thing, I think he knows that what's going to happen, and that's when he, of course, calls Kate to, like, sort of give her the warning. But it does seem like, sort of in general, that Ray is sort of coming apart a little bit here. He doesn't really have control of much of what's going on, and it seems like he's scrambling a little bit.
Yeah, and another person who's scrambling is Frank. So we see Frank approaching the hotel room, with his gun. Mind you, this is a motel. It's exposed. It's not like it's in some desert area where nobody's there. It's real seedy. No, he walks up, black gloves, black gun, comes in, misses when he tries to shoot. Poor Tiny. Tiny runs out of the door. Frank is left to shoot Tiny outside on the balcony.
Well, once he's taken the first shot, I think you have to finish the job. I don't know that you can just shoot at somebody and be like, it's cool.
Yeah, I would continuing on, we see Tiny fall on some poor man coming up the stairs.
The motel manager or whatever.
Breaks his leg. Now he has to shoot both people outside. I understand you have to finish the job, right? But you can kind of grab Tiny, put him in the car type of thing and drive him somewhere. I don't know. To me, this just left it open to now everybody at the motel sees this. Because, you're at a motel. Sometimes you have people who are living at the motel. You got people, nosy people, kids. Somebody's looking out that front window like, hey, what's going on?
Right.
Yeah, the only thing he did right in the situation was put a silencer on the gun. That's like the only thing he handled properly. I mean, Tiny's a big guy. How do you miss him completely?
Kind of a big target.
Yeah, and he's in a doorway, like a small hallway between the bathroom, coming out of the bathroom. So I just feel like if he just shot in the general direction, if he had just shot to,
he did hit him, just not.
He grazed the side of his head. If he had just shot to disable him somehow, to make him fall to the ground, oh my knee, no, then he could have at least completed the job inside the motel room. It was just so dumb.
Yeah, he really fumbled it. I guess I don't know if he shot him somewhere else, if it really would have slowed him down. It seems like a headshot probably the only thing that's going to do it. But I guess Frank has not really been a hitman. I guess I don't know if he's really a hitman here, but I guess he's not really shot many people, so he seemed to kind of fumble it pretty bad.
But shouldn't the FBI be somewhat trained in
I would hope so.
Right. They need to have skill.
But he does sit at a desk. He's kind of a paper pusher.
Abby's a better shot than Frank. I'm convinced of this.
Oh yeah, we saw that.
Frank just let it go to fall to pieces. So, and we'll get to this in predictions, but I want to know from you guys, what do you think is going to happen to Frank now? Because now he had to call Cochran and let him know what went down. This changes things because Cochran already kind of couldn't stand the dude. He already seemed like he was really you just, a subpar agent. Now, Frank has to go. In my mind, Frank has to go. It's too much drama.
Yeah, he's a liability.
All right, so we'll get to that in predictions. And guys, let us know what you think as well. Tweet us and comment on Facebook. Or are you guys on Facebook?
Yeah.
I'm on Facebook. Hit everybody up on Facebook, Twitter. Let us know what you think, especially in the situation in regards to Frank or any other things that we throw out here on the show. So June, we see that June is still having an issue with Ezra because Ezra didn't get his money, his $5 million. He is ignoring Ray's phone call. Ezra said he's been in a meeting for the last 2 days. So Ray, rightfully so, gets fed up and goes to see Ezra, and we finally figure out why. Ezra says, when you told June not to pay, someone else, and I didn't catch the guy's name.
Arthur.
I think his name was Arthur. Arthur didn't pay either. And when Arthur doesn't pay, nobody pays. So we get this interaction between Ray and Ezra that we kind of haven't seen. Ray basically tells Ezra, you know what? Cool, I'll get your money, but I'm taking 20%. Ezra seems like, that it's unheard of because he's done so much for Ray. Ray tells him, I have a family too. You're looking out for your wife's legacy, for Ruth. I'm looking out for my family too. Cut to Ray going to June's house. We see Chico in his Speedo coming out the pool. Carlo?
Yeah, he called him Chico at the restaurant.
We see Chico coming out with his Speedo on, fresh from the pool.
Yeah, getting a little afternoon dip in, yeah.
Tries to get slick with Ray. First of all, you can't get slick with somebody when you're wearing a Speedo. I just don't think you can, it doesn't fly. Ray puts him in a little hand move,
Yeah. Well, I think this was a great sort of illustration between the differences between Ezra and Ray, because, Ray does have a moral code. It might be much grayer, a little bit shadier than ours, but he cares about people, and we've talked about before about he seems to be very protective of women in particular. But Ezra, has basically raised Ray, and now is completely shutting him out. Won't even take his calls.
Right.
And Ezra, I think, clearly also has a relationship with June for many, many years. So the fact that he wants to send Ray to go shake her down, and he also knows that June has a problem with alcohol. She has drinking problems, so she made this pledge when she was drunk. I just, it's a little bit nutty. And he loves, can't think of her name, Ruth, so much. He's so dedicated to Ruth. When is he going to get dedicated to Deb? Because Deb has been there for him. She's been more dedicated to him than anybody.
Yeah, that's true. But, Deb kind of just accepts it. It seems like at this point she doesn't even want to put up with a fight with Ezra because he needs her. Especially remember when he was going through the tumor situation. She was all he really had as far as caretaking and, making sure that he was okay. But I don't know if Deb really, if at this point I know it bothers her, but not enough for her to really put her foot down. That's what I'm kind of seeing.
Yeah, she had said the last episode that she had just accepted hers, when she was talking about the house in the neighborhood or whatever, she had just sort of accepted her place as the mistress. I think it would be nice to see her sort of step up and, I don't know, tell Ezra what's up, I guess. I don't know. I thought with the June thing that it seemed like she had already given Ray that warning, you don't really know who Ezra is, and that she knew he was going to come back, but I don't know. It was just more of I don't know. I guess it was just more of Ray to me kind of being out of sorts, coming back to ask for the money, and then her saying we're never going to talk again, but then trying to offer a little peace offering. If there's anything you need, she's no, we're not going to see each other again. Right.
So she gives him the envelope. Let's talk about that. Pulls out a picture. It was of her daughter. She looked like she may have had Down syndrome, or it was something was
For some reason that they've been hiding her.
Yeah. Ezra knew about it. When she told me, I said she told me. I'm acting like they're talking to me. This is ridiculous.
They were talking to you.
When she said that, I immediately thought that was Ezra's child. I was like, wait, is this Ezra's baby? Because you're hiding the baby for someone. You don't want it to come out. Ezra, maybe they had a little relationship because she seems to have been around Ezra for quite some time. The relationship isn't just a regular, homegirl that you knew in the business. It seemed deeper than that.
Yeah.
But Ray seemed to not know this. He was a little taken aback. You can see it kind of hit him in a different place when she told him this information.
Yeah, and it's probably not because she could be extorting Ezra instead of the other way around if it were his child.
Yeah. So, let's see where this is going to go. But as far as June, she's done with Ray. Maybe this will come back around. But, we'll see. And if you guys have predictions, we'll get there.
We'll get there.
So, Kate is still in Los Angeles. Still causing problems. We open up in the beginning with
her and Ray.
Can we talk about this for a second?
Okay.
Why can Ray have relations with her like a normal human being, but he has to have sex with Abby so aggressively?
Like an animal.
Like an animal.
It's like an animal. No, I thought the same thing. He let her be on top. They were talking. It was like a real moment. To me, it was like he likes her.
Yeah.
Does he like her and not like Abby? Does he hate Abby? Because I'm starting to question.
Because I hate Abby.
Yeah. Might be some personal.
I actually had a lot of compassion for her this episode, but I mean, does he? Does he resent her?
Don't know if he resents her. I know that they've been together for a long time. They're sort of like maybe they did in high school or something. I think there was a reference to that with Kate. We sort of talked about it like last episode that she sort of challenges him in some way. She's really smart. She's really goal oriented. She's very ambitious, whereas Abby's not that I've seen, at least at this point, other than sort of wanting stuff, I guess.
Yeah, but I'm starting to wonder if they ever even communicated, because like think about it, when you see an old couple together, even if they're grouchy or they don't like each other, you can tell that they've talked or they can talk to each other. It doesn't even seem like they can speak or have like a normal conversation as with Kate. They were at the bar drinking last episode. They were having a great old time. He was just chatty Charles, just talking away. Sleeps with her like he really loves her. You would think that Kate was his woman and Abby was the mistress. The way he treats her, he treats Abby like a side chick.
Yeah, but she acts like a prostitute. Yeah. When he came in and said, I put an offer on the house, and she followed him into the bedroom, and she was like, do you think we'll get it? And he's like, yeah. And then she got naked and got in the shower.
Yeah.
I mean, that's prostitution. Prostitutes have sex in exchange for money or goods.
Loose definition of that term. But well, I think that the Ray's immediate reaction after sleeping with Kate, she gives him the witty line about just because we slept together doesn't mean I'm not going to do my job or whatever. Zings back at her at the end. Yeah. I love that. But as soon as he leaves, he calls Deb to make an offer on the house. I think that's just like a guilty response of like, oh, crap.
Yeah.
I got to do something nice for her.
But what got me? It was when he asked, so am I going to see you again? I'm like, Ray sprung. He really likes her. He sprung. I like that she was like, no, beat it.
Do you think it's because... Well, you think it's because he sprung. I wonder, though... if it has anything to do with him just wanting to keep tabs on her and wanting to make sure that she's not talking to his father.
I kind of think that's like 20% of it, but deep down, I think that he is really feeling her.
Yeah.
He called her pisser, a little pisser last week. Yeah. I think he is really feeling her, and I think she put it on him, and now he's like, so can I see you again? It's just like, no, thanks.
Yeah, I think that's just sort of more of the unraveling, though, of him. Just sort of like, you didn't really see him wanting other people or letting other people sort of control him, and he's kind of like...
Yeah.
Oh.
So Kate continues on. She tries to go see Mickey at his job, the job in which now he is bitching about because he only got paid almost... not even $100. So Mickey is making $5.15 an hour. He has to be making
minimum wage, something like that.
Yeah, that's less than a minimum wage.
Don't know that a dishwasher makes that much money in general.
Obviously, because Mickey is working like 80 hours a week, and he had less than $100. So Mickey, rightfully so, it kind of turns her away. Like, yeah, whatever, I can do what I want, make my own decisions. We see Wendell Pierce's character come in, and he shuts the whole thing down. It's kind of weird to see how open now Ray is between him. What is Wendell Pierce's character's name? I forget.
Ronald.
Between Ray, Ronald, and Mick, because he just had Ronald give him the phone, like put Mickey on the phone. It's Ray. Right. So that whole situation is blown. But now Mickey is on a warpath because he feels a certain way about the situation. He was getting high with Shorty. He had a little oxygen bump after he hit the joints.
Is that a thing? Does oxygen?
Well, you remember at one point they had those oxygen bars. Remember in the 2000s, early 2000s, there was like the flavored oxygen was like the thing.
I totally remember that.
You remember that?
Yeah.
It was like it was like a Wi-Fi bar, but they had like pink oxygen and blue and raspberry, and it was just weird.
Yeah.
All right.
He was on that. I remember that. So
I thought that was interesting. I was like, does that get you high? I guess maybe it does.
Oh, I never went in. So he, like I said, he was smoking with Shorty. The dolphin starts talking to him again, and it tells him, "You're not a captain. You're just a sailor."
Mm-hmm.
that's when Mickey, you know, decides to call Kate and give her all the information.
Now, who's recording the phone calls? Who's bugged?
Yeah, it's just got to be tapped or something. I mean, if he's under, what, I guess that's his parole officer, but they're keeping a lot of tabs on him. I'm sure either her phone's tapped or his phone's tapped, I guess, would be my guess as how they got that recording.
Right, yeah, I was asking whose.
Oh.
I would see more his, but I mean, I would see his first.
Yeah.
But then it could be Kate's.
Because, I mean, they know about both of them. So I just wonder who they're more interested in or worried about.
Yeah. You know, we'll see. So, again, Ray, towards the end of the episode in regards to Kate, gets a hold of Kate, lets her know, you need to go meet me at this apartment or this location. I'll text you the address, but your life is in danger. I'm happy that Kate told him that the apartment was cold, and she's like, where the hell are we? It's really cold in here, and I don't like it. This crummy setup that you have here. They have a little interaction, and once again, Ray proceeds to be intimate with her. I want to piggyback off of you, Anna, because, like you said, why is it that he can have these interactions with Kate and he can't with Abby? He had a moment, though, where it was a little aggressive when he kissed her and she was like, I'm not going to do it. And he shut her up and he was like, shut up. And then he kept kissing her again. But it wasn't like turning her over and, you know, being forceful with her like we saw previously with Abby. But
Right.
I see that Abby is out of here. They're not going to have sex anymore. She kind of, you know, got the idea of something was going on when she was going through his laundry. She smelled his clothes. She put two and two together. He didn't want to have sex with me before.
Well, and starting with in the shower when she said before it was 2 times a day and now you can't do me. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, Kate's younger and blonder. I don't know.
She's just new, I think.
She's just new.
She's just new.
New and shiny.
And she's a totally opposite person from Abby. We see Abby in the family dining room having voice and diction lessons on the internet.
Yeah, it seems like that neighbor really got to her.
It did really get to her.
Accent there.
We see the kids mouthing off.
Oh,
Bridget was like, oh, I was with Marvin last night. And then here comes Connor just cussing. And he's like, I don't care. I want an egg.
Yeah.
Abby's like, I don't do whatever you want. So she's done with the children.
But she never started with the children. She's an awful mother. And the fact that it's okay for Connor to just be like, fuck this, fuck that, I want an egg. I didn't do anything wrong. And she says nothing to correct him is unbelievable to me.
No.
It's unacceptable. She's just sitting, she doesn't even turn around.
Not
She
even
doesn't-
that. Your daughter, who had this bad interaction with this kid, we don't, you know, like, remember Bridget, we thought Marvin roughed her up.
Yeah.
He got overzealous with her.
Yeah.
She tells you, I was hanging out with this little scumbag yesterday, and Abby's just like, oh, you're going to do whatever you want to do anyway. What, girl?
Yeah, that's a potentially dangerous situation for your daughter. Yeah, I mean, there's just so much that she's given up. She doesn't care.
She did give up. We later see, Abby go to the gun range.
Right. So she hasn't maybe given up on love entirely. And I did predict that she was going to have an affair.
You did.
And maybe this is going to be it. I don't believe that this guy is really a detective for some reason. He just looks so young. I mean, am I getting old that I think that this guy looks too young to be a detective then?
No, but you got to kind of earn your stripes, right? I don't know any real life detectives, but
He looked appropriately aged to me. I don't know, 30s or something like that. Was it Jim Halloran or whatever? But I don't know.
and the ones on Law and Order are kind of young looking. I mean, I'm just
Sure.
basing it off on TV, you know. They were kind of, when Mariska Hargitay was young, she was kind of young and fresh in the face.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Yeah.
But Abby has this interaction with him. She seems to really like him. He offered her a new gun to shoot with. He was, talking about stuff that she likes. And when she said she had a husband, he didn't really judge her or kind of get standoffish. He kept talking and he kept going like, oh, your husband, he knows his guns or whatever. So I thought that kind of turned Abby on because afterwards, after she got the gun and they had that conversation, she seemed really excited and happy about just her whole situation being there.
I think she goes to the gun range because she barges in on a therapist on his session with the emo kid or whatever.
Yeah.
And then yells at him, and then he's like, I got a patient. And then, so of course she leaves there. I think she goes to the gun range as some sort of therapy replacement. I'm not aware of this. Me and my therapist don't do the shooting, but I think she's there just sort of getting some sort of feelings out, and then the guy approaches her, gives her the other gun, and she likes the attention. I think she's gotten attention from someone else before, and sort of like that. I can't remember exactly.
The yoga instructor.
Oh yeah, the yoga
remember?
Instructor that she kissed.
Yeah, he kissed her, and then it was a situation.
How do you go from yoga to a gun range, by the way? I just like, what's the sudden shift that...
Oh, Dorchester, man, I don't know.
And it seems like Abby's kind of blaming herself for Ray stepping out. Because she said to the therapist, the rape word was something that you gave me, and now he's sleeping with somebody else.
Right.
So I took that as, she thinks it's her fault that Ray is now having sex or doesn't want to have sex with her.
Well, she thinks it's the therapist's fault.
Yeah.
You put that into my
In my
head.
head.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, then it still needs to be addressed between them, especially considering the fact that he sure ain't rough with Katie Kate. So
He's a little rough. It was aggressive. It
was aggressive, but it seemed like a regular. It was like it's just a sexual interaction. He wasn't like he was with Abby, because he was having sex with Abby like he hated her guts.
He hated something. I don't know if he hates her, but he's certainly upset.
Maybe not that drastic, but you guys know what I mean. He was definitely.
He's frustrated with life. He's taking that out on Abby, but I don't know that he hates her.
Yeah, no, I felt like when they... Maybe we should probably move on, but just one more thing. That when he was having sex with Kate, it really, like, it did feel loving. It was, like, slower. She was definitely on top. It felt like they were a couple.
It did. It seemed like she was the wife and Abby was the side chick.
Yeah, that's what it seemed like.
Yeah, I didn't get that. It seemed more like a power play sort of thing, especially when she's like, you want me on top? He's like, do you want me on top? And all that whole thing back and forth, and then he's on top, and he's like, this is what you wanted. It seemed more like a sort of like who's the alpha here or something.
Pillow talk,
that's
no?
what I got.
Yeah.
Pillow talk for some. I don't.
Some people like to talk, in the sheets. Well, whatever happened, it made Ray buy Abby that house.
Mm-hmm.
We see Abby get the news broken to her by
Deb.
Mm-hmm.
She comes over with champagne, so excited. Yay, they're moving. Ray didn't tell Abby. And rightfully so. I didn't take it as him not telling her just because they were on the rocks. He had a lot to deal with today. Everything was falling apart.
And he wanted to tell her in person.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not like a text.
Yeah. Yeah, it's true. You're like, hey,
we got a house.
Smiley face.
Yeah.
So speaking of smiley faces, guys, thank you so much for always supporting us on iTunes. We say every week that we like when you guys rate and comment and even subscribe to the AfterBuzz TV network on iTunes. But we just want to personally say thank you again. Be sure to leave us comments. Be sure to let us know what you think. We all are on other shows as well. We have over probably 90 shows on AfterBuzz right now going on. So whatever your favorite shows are, make sure you go to iTunes. Look up any show that you want to check out and tune in like always. But again, we want to just say thank you from all of us here at the Ray Donovan After Show and AfterBuzz in general.
Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome.
Oh, and and we want to specifically thank. Sorry. Let's see. Okay. Darian SPQR.
Mm-hmm.
He says, I watch AfterBuzz every week for multiple shows. Yay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Darren. 5 stars.
5 stars. And this one is Man of Steel 98. And he said it's wicked smart. Glad to see the handsome faces of Isaac and Matt on the Ray Donovan After Show. Follow them over from Halt and Catch Fire Show. Ladies, you are equally lovely, and I look forward to all of your insights throughout the season. Cheers.
Cheers to you. Thank you,
Thanks.
sir.
Thank you.
Thanks. 5 stars.
Man of Steel.
Yeah,
Man of Steel.
I believe I've seen Man of Steel on our AfterBuzz comments as well.
He's dedicated. That's what we like. Please follow us around to our other after shows. So, Cochran has right. He has. So we see him at the beginning. We talked about this a little bit. He finds out that Tiny is running amok, running his mouth. But we see how Cochran chooses to handle the situation. So he doesn't trust Ray. Frank is the only go-to guy that he has.
Why is Frank's everybody's go-to guy when he seems like he can't handle anything?
nobody else works at the FBI. That's what I'm thinking. Like, nobody is just
There are
him,
two employees,
Frank, and the
Cochran.
guy who died last season. I forget his name. The creepy guy in the basement.
Oh, right.
Van Miller.
Van Miller. There were those three, and those are the only agents. If you need
And a
help,
bunch of extras.
right? You need help. Too bad. So, but while we're seeing Cochran handling this, we get a little look deeper into his personal life. Him and his wife have a very close relationship.
Yeah. Well, he likes to sing on the treadmill. He's
He
got himself
sings.
a little Bachman Turner overdrive there, let it ride.
He's in a cover band, he's in a tribute band.
Yeah.
And his wife seems very square. And, Ray had kind of burned him in the first episode. He's like, what are you looking at? And Ray's like, your mother. Like, classic yo mama joke. But she has him, a little bit older and, very old-fashioned, And when Cochran is, repeatedly, yelling the F-bomb, she's just like, that's enough, That is...
Well, I think it was enough. I think his point was gotten across.
Well, I mean, yeah, but he just got off of whatever, Anyways, she's correcting him as though she's his mother, and talking about which lame dip she should make for a party that night.
Yeah, some kind of party.
Which looked absolutely disgusting, I will have to say.
Ended up being a casserole, and also they're just things that's no, can you bring the ambrosia instead? They're just these really old fashioned what?
They're probably the same age. I don't know.
Well, she does seem very old fashioned.
Yeah.
She's very apron.
Got like a Susie homemaker sort of thing going on.
Susie homemaker thing, very Stepford wife kind of, but it seems to fit in his lifestyle because she's his go-to person. She was the one who kickstarted him into the plan of having Frank handle the situation because she said, whenever something
If you want to get
happens,
something done, you got to do it yourself.
you got to do it yourself.
Yeah, so he didn't quite take her advice. He had Frank handle it, which was worse. Yeah, okay,
Yeah.
just want to point that out. Go on.
Yeah, Frank.
I don't think that he can get his hands dirty by actually doing something, but he's going to make sure it's done in his way, I guess, is sort of his.
But do you think it'll
doing it
eventually
himself.
come to that though? Because now that he knows he thinks Ray is just the worst person on earth. He knows Frank can't handle anything, especially now that Frank had to kill 2 people in front of the motel, the little shady motel. Cochran is going to have to eventually start doing the dirty work. I think so, at least.
Maybe. It seems like he likes to keep his life seemingly pretty squeaky clean, though, especially Lena's trying to find the info on him, and he does this, he does music. He loves his wife and all these things. It seems like his life is pretty squeaky clean, but maybe, I don't know, maybe he'll have some to get his hands dirty, but I doubt it. I think he'll have some way to have someone else do it.
Well, he got his hands.
Yeah.
He had a little boob action, so
Yeah.
they were in the kitchen. They were having Scrabble night. Very,
Just filled with casseroles and Scrabble.
Scrabble.
And fresh boob.
A married couple has other couples over for dinner and games. It's a thing.
So do you guys think they were just a regular couple, like the friend couple from down the street, or do you think they were swingers or something was going on?
Yeah, well, that's once he, says hello to his neighbor. I don't know what you want to call that. First, I thought okay, well maybe that's his girl on the side, and he invited them over. But then, of course, when they're doing the Scrabble, and his wife spells out S-U-C-K, which I'm not sure what that spells. I couldn't figure it out. But and then of course someone else spells something else. It's oh, maybe this is a thing between the 4 of them, and they're just sort of getting it started kind of slow.
Like naughty dice.
Something, yeah. Well, and they got drinks, and they're I think there was a comment of oh, we got to get this started somehow, or something I can't remember what they said, but.
I don't know. I think I can see him trying to have a threesome or, get a little kinky with his wife and the lady with the boob. However, I just didn't think.
She had 2 of them.
Yeah,
there was not just one, there were 2.
Or 3, like on Total Recall. With the 3. I don't see her husband or her boyfriend, whoever the guy was. He just seemed a little too. I don't know. It's just he didn't allude sexual.
They're all having drinks,
experimentation,
loosening up, about to pop that casserole. I think something was going
which
down.
Was it had like tomatoes, whatever. It had
But
tomatoes.
it was layered with tomatoes and cucumbers.
It looked like cheese was underneath it.
or
Just
zucchini. I don't know.
it just didn't look.
It looked fine to me. I don't know. I wasn't analyzing the casserole.
Look, I don't know, but it would make sense that swinging is his only thing, because Lena can't find anything on him in public. So maybe if like all the wrongdoing goes down in his own house, it's actually a very smart move on his part.
It's smart. It is smart. And
Wrongdoing. It's not wrong. It's just something that Ray could use against him.
True.
Counterculture, we could say.
Yeah.
I don't know if necessarily he does keep it all in house though, because it seems like I'm assuming that was Frank on the phone calling him to tell him that he really fumbled it, but he killed him and some other guy. But I think that his reaction to it is just kind of like, it got done. So maybe he's okay with things being kind of crooked.
I don't know. I took it more as he couldn't really address it because he had those people at the house. Like he was kind of like, okay, great, well, and then he, aggressively grabbed that poor woman's teat.
Yeah. He said, like, let it ride, let it ride.
Yeah, let it ride.
Yeah, we sing that song. Well, that's the song from the beginning.
Yeah, like it was like he was gonna motorboat her. Anyway,
but he didn't sing it with joy like he did at the beginning.
True.
He was saying it really aggressively.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess we'll see what happens. I got the feeling that this guy who seems very squeaky clean is probably not so squeaky clean.
I hope so, because this is going to be very interesting. Because at this point, Ray needs something to use against somebody because everything, is just falling apart under his watch. Real quick, let's talk about the brothers. So,
Yeah.
Terry is depressed, and rightfully so. His girlfriend,
Thinking about moving away,
where was it, Ireland? He was watching like a National Geographic.
And they're definitely sheep. There are a lot of sheep going on.
Yeah. Scotland or Ireland. I would say Ireland because I believe they're Irish.
So Mickey's like, what are you, depressed? Yes. The woman that I was dating, not only was she married, but she left, I can't talk to her anymore.
She hates me.
And if she squeals, they're going to kill her. So, I get that. Mickey doesn't understand. We see at the same time, Daryl comes in and he's back to chauffeuring. Has his outfit on. He comes in, he tells Terry, hey, I'm up to 5 miles today. Mickey's like, yo, what are you doing driving again? It's degrading. And they have a moment.
Sorry, is that your Jon Voight?
That's my Jon Voight. What are you doing? I don't know. Who is this? I don't know, guys.
Maybe
like that's some wrestler WWF.
I don't know.
It's like Razor Ramon.
Yeah.
So
they're Italian suddenly. I don't know what happened.
Guys, my accent sucks. I can't do any accent. I can do nothing. So
It's okay.
it's hilarious. So Daryl seems to finally understand that Mickey's a dirtbag.
Yeah, he seems to finally be pick that up. I mean, after getting that beating from La Fuerza, I don't think he's being boxing anytime soon.
But, guys, did you notice that it seems Mickey has been throwing fights since Terry was fighting?
Yes.
Yeah.
Because he said to him, do you still blame me for the Parkinson's? And he was like,
I told you not to go 12 rounds
Yeah.
with Chewy Gomez.
and then Terry says, I don't throw fights.
Yeah.
So Mickey has been up to this. This isn't a new thing. He was even trying to recruit some other boxer at the gym to do the same thing. So this is Mickey's MO.
Yeah, well, that's why Terry, I think, steps in.
Yeah.
Steps in to be like, hey, we run a clean gym here, is what he says. So it's certainly something that's been like a behavior from Mickey in general.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So then we jump to Terry, who's at his nice job at the bike shop.
Bunchy.
But who did I say?
Terry.
Yeah.
Bunchy has a job. I'm happy he's,
Well, he got the bike job. We knew that. I was glad to see him there. Which I was also glad to find out his real name is Brendan.
We knew that.
Brendan.
We knew that.
Oh, did you guys know?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's
I'm
a
sorry.
cute name, Brendan. There's a nice lady coming into the store with her son.
Yeah, and he definitely is able to connect more with the child.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was definitely like more comfortable and just easier for him, I think.
Yeah.
There's something about him that's sort of about Bunch that's kind of childlike, so it makes some sense.
Yeah, it's like he's stuck in time. Like sometimes when things happen to people tragically, in some cases, it kind of freezes that person and they kind of just revert back to being childlike, to whenever the situation happened. Maybe
Right.
that's Bunchy's case, but the mother seems to take interest into Bunchy. Maybe it was because he helped her out, hooked her up with a bike, or maybe she really is interested in Bunchy.
He's a good-looking guy. Why not?
Yeah, he's a nice guy. He really, looked out because she couldn't afford a bike. That's nice. He put a bike together. himself gave it to the kid.
Yeah, and he's good with her kids. She's obviously a single mom, so this is attractive to her.
Bunchy's also,
but he's a sexually anorexic.
he's sexually anorexic,
Yeah.
and I don't know. It just, to me, I'm fearful whenever I see Bunchy with children. And I'm not saying that because I think Bunchy is a sexual predator. However, he does have an issue with molestation. Like, I don't know. It's just it's just fearful to me. Like, I don't know. I just get, scared when I see Bunchy with a kid. But
Yeah, I don't know if I see like that coming. I think that he just sort of, he had the whole thing with his bike last season, and now he's working at a bike shop. I think he just saw the kid and thought he wanted to hook him up with a bike. The mom's really grateful because they can't afford a bike, and then takes him out to dinner. I thought it was cool that they're seemingly, Patty was her name, I guess, but I think seemingly they're maybe building a little bit of a interest for him. I don't know if that's gonna be like a relationship or something like that. But I like that because it does seem like, as far as we were talking about him from last season, just, sort of being out of sorts. And this season he's, really clean and sober. She offers him a beer and he says no. So it seems like he's really sticking to the 12 steps there. But I see him building some sort of life for himself.
yeah.
And maybe it's going to be with Patty.
But I know what you're saying, Kennelia, and I think I was saying kind of the same thing, that he just seems to relate so much more. He connects more with children, and so it just feels kind of uncomfortable or inappropriate. That not that he would necessarily abuse them, but he's a grown man that's relating about. He clearly always watches SpongeBob, that he knows about this episode, and so and is quoting it line for line. And so there's just something that's not really right about him relating to this 7-year-old more than he is to this attractive woman sitting across from him. So so it's not necessarily, I don't think he would hurt a child, but there's just something off about it.
Right. Something that was nice or funny to hear, he asked the kid when he was talking about the bike, like, what kind of bike do you want? Like, what do you see yourself doing? And he said to the kid, tell me about your lifestyle.
What
that
kind of
was
lifestyle?
the best thing I've heard all day.
I don't know what that means.
It's like, I don't know, what do you mean? But it was like, that's the truth. Tell me your lifestyle. What do you like to do? Do you want to ride in the dirt? Do you want to ride on the sidewalk? The kid said, I want to ride on the sidewalk. So that was a good moment between those two.
Yeah.
And it'll be interesting to see if they stick around.
Yes. I'd like to see more of them.
Yeah, that was a good duo. So, guys, let's get into some predictions.
And now, your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
So, next episode, in the previews, we kind of see things unraveling even more. Cochran is in the interrogation room with Mickey, so we got to figure out where that's going. We see a hand in the dirt, so maybe that's where the woman that got shot at the end of season 2 last year was. So maybe, things are going to come back up about her, which we kind of said before. There were too many links to the Sully situation and him getting shot. Too many people are outstanding for none of this to come back up. So what do you guys think is gonna happen next episode?
Well, I think Frank is for sure going to be the fall guy. Not only are there cameras everywhere these days, and will surely be some at the motel, and you mentioned, Kennelia, that I don't know if we were on camera or not, but people are going to be looking out those windows, and he still has their dog. So there are too many connections to him, and I think they're going to just put it all on Frank, and he's going to be the fall guy, and see ya.
No, good point.
I think we're just going to see Cochran get his hands dirty. I think we're going to see him, I don't know, I think we're going to find out the true nature of him, because certainly there's some stuff that he's hiding there.
Dirty, full of boob.
Yeah, he's a boob man.
Yeah, I don't know that I consider that dirty in general.
Yeah, hey, everybody likes their thing, everybody likes their boob.
Maybe when you have a wife, it's a dirty date. Unless she's okay with that and you're swinging, who knows?
Yeah, so I think this case situation is gonna make a turn for the worse, not in the situation dealing with Abby. because I think Ray likes her and he really has a connection and a feeling for her, if she keeps sticking around, Cochran is going to come for her. So I think there's going to be an emotional issue with Ray in regards to that, because it's one thing for someone to tell you, hey, get rid of this lady, and you have no real, regard for her. You're like, okay, whatever. But it's another when someone tells you to get rid of this lady that you really are into or really feeling. So I think that's going to be a clash between Ray's emotions and the job. And, I don't think she's not going anywhere. And maybe her and the cop are going to have a little relationship. But like Anna said, maybe he's not even a cop.
Yeah.
I think he's a cop.
Detective Junior.
But even with Abby,
he doesn't look that young.
Why would she even call though? He's a detective. You know what your husband does. You cannot mingle with a detective.
She loves to mess up his life.
Yeah, she does. But also, she smells the pants and apparently smells the girl on the pants, and so she's gonna do her own thing now.
Yeah, well, can't wait to see what happens, guys. Yeah. You can find me this week at the Comedy Store in the Belly Room on Thursday at 9:30 p.m. Also on social media at Kennelia on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. Where can they find you guys?
You can follow me at Koppel for Mayor, KOPPEL FORMAYOR.
And you can find me on Twitter at Issac Johnson, Instagram, The Issac Johnson. You can check out my album on iTunes called All the Things We Are.
All right, guys. See you next week. Same time, same place.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.
Thank you for watching AfterBuzz TV on YouTube. For more of your favorite after shows and interviews, subscribe to our channel here, and be sure to share your opinion on the episode in the comment section below here. We'd love to see what you guys are buzzing about. Thanks again. Buzz you later.